Hello, welcome to this Crypto Professor analysis and introduction to Celsius Network. Celsius Network allows you to earn interest on your crypto assets of between 5 and 16%, and also allows you to earn 10 to 12% interest on your stablecoins. If you like the sound of Celsius Network and you're a new user, please consider signing up using the referral code, which is down in the description. In today's video, I'm going to take you through a walkthrough of how to use the Celsius Network. You can only access it via an app, and I'm going to do a screen share of my mobile and my account, demonstrating how to actually use the Celsius Network. And then in the latter part of the video, I'm going to explain why I think if you do own any Celsius token at the moment, it may be worth taking some profits, because I do forecast a drop for it as it has ascended recently over 600%. But if you'd like the sound of Celsius Network and you have assets to deposit, you can get $20 of free Bitcoin just by using the referral link in the description. And you also help to support the channel by giving us a small payment in terms of allowing us to continue to make the project. So if you like the sound of $20 of free Bitcoin and would like to help maintain this channel and help us make more videos, please consider using our referral link in the description below. But otherwise, let's now crack on with the walkthrough. Hello, welcome to this Crypto Professor walkthrough of the Celsius Network app. There is no desktop equivalent for this app. It is only available on a smartphone. So hence why I'm sharing this screen with you, which is my account. You'll notice that I've got a fairly small amount of crypto dust, if you like. That's because I'm using other services and other environments in order to earn interest or trade my crypto at the moment. However, I have managed to earn $1,300 almost in the past 12 months. Most of that has been in Celsius token, which I did recently sell in line with my video on the technical analysis of the Celsius token, which I do expect to drop shortly. The Celsius network essentially is there for individuals who own crypto to lend it out for fiat currency or stablecoins, or in order to benefit from the interest rates. And they do have quite good interest rates for the majority of their tokens. The highest interest rates you'll find are on stablecoins, which generally are around about 12 to 15%. And with crypto, it's anything from 3% up to 16%, depending on the actual token itself. So if we scroll down here, you'll be able to see Gemini dollar and True USD around about the 10% mark. But if we go down to other cryptos, basic attention token at 3.5%, etc. Synthetics network token at 16.16, and same as Matic. And we do also have plans to launch these cryptocurrencies on Celsius over the course of the next couple of months. Bear in mind, these have been on the platform as potentials since I started using it, which is around about 18 months ago. So don't hold your breath for these, but they will be announced shortly. I'm impressed with Celsius. It feels very, very secure, very good. You log in with your username and password and a biometric data set, which they use two-factor authentication for, which is excellent, and it feels very secure. The deposits withdrawals are entirely free. And you don't pay for anything, and they're very relatively speedy as well. One thing to watch out for: if you do change your deposit address, you do have to wait 24 hours before you can withdraw that particular coin. It doesn't affect every single coin, but you do have to wait 24 hours in order to withdraw, which is a security feature that I actually quite like. It means that you're less likely to lose your crypto. The Celsius token controls effectively what you can access in the platform in terms of rates. The best rates are for individuals who are on their platinum tier, and in my video on the actual token itself, I go into what level you need in order to have the top tier. But at the moment, mine is gold because I have a relatively small amount of crypto and also a very, very small amount of CEL, only one at present, but my CEL ratio is 19%. So effectively what they do is they take your overall portfolio and see how much CEL you have against the rest of your portfolio, and that determines what interest rates you get in terms of borrowing and lending. And it's always dynamic, and it is affected by the price of the token. So if the price of the token appreciates, which is obviously what they intend to happen, your ability to earn more interest on more crypto or borrow more crypto for less increases. So everyone's effectively a winner. The number of people who hold CEL now is at an all-time high, as is the actual price itself. Recently did strike an all-time high, but I will talk about that later in my analysis video. So as I say, to transfer, relatively straightforward. You select the cryptocurrency of your choice and you can just transfer it as if you were transferring to an exchange. It turns up very, very quickly, instantaneously almost for some cryptocurrencies, depending on the blockchain you're using, and relatively easy to withdraw and trade as well. Now, I should mention you can buy cryptocurrencies using the facilities through Celsius. I personally wouldn't, just because there is a fee, not imposed by Celsius itself, but imposed by their provider, which is Simplex, who charges a 3.5% or $10 minimum fee in terms of fees just to do the trade. Okay, now hopefully most of my audience will be able to buy through an exchange for much less than that, and they'll be able to circumvent those fees. Crypto.com, for example, Binance, KuCoin, etc. Coinbase have various promotions from time to time where they do offer free buying of cryptocurrency, especially if you have a bank transfer as opposed to a funding account. So that is effectively Celsius in a nutshell. They do have various other facilities that they add from time to time. CEL Pay, for example, allows you to send $2,500 worth of crypto with one touch. So that's a new feature that has come around recently, and they are adding features relatively frequently. They're quite up and coming in terms of their developments. I really like it. I've been using it now for over 18 months, and as I say, I've managed to earn a lot of returns for a relatively small investment. I haven't borrowed anything from Celsius yet. No doubt I will in the future at some point, but for now I'm very happy with depositing relatively risk-free and allowing my investments to grow at between 5 and 15% interest. Welcome back. Let's now dive into the Celsius network tokenomics. You can see that we have a market cap of around about $880 million, a $5 million 24-hour trading volume at present, and the price is currently around about $2.3. A circulating supply of 382 million coins against a max supply of 695 million. So we're around about 55% of the way through releasing those. Currently ranked 32nd in the world in terms of the largest cryptocurrencies by market capitalization. And I also want to draw your attention to the market cap and how it moves in situ with Bitcoin. The yellow line here is the Celsius network market cap, and you can see it's reached a peak just under $1 billion. Didn't quite get to $1 billion recently. And the Bitcoin market cap moving in situ as well. So the market cap divided by the total number of Celsius network tokens. We can see that the price has largely, and the market cap has largely followed that pattern. And if we look at the price as well, we can actually see it's even clearer in terms of the price of Bitcoin dictating the average price of the Celsius network token. Just also want to draw your attention to the fact that it has risen, the Celsius network token, over 3,000% since last December. Ultimately, though, we did hit an all-time high of $2.59 3 weeks ago, and we did have an all-time low of 2.5 cents back in December 2018, which gives us the almighty 8,700% that's happened in the last 2 years for this token. In terms of adoption of CEL, let's just have a look now at the actual Celsius website. So this is the Celsius website, very clean, very crisp, explains what the Celsius token does. As we have seen with the walkthrough, you can't actually log into a desktop platform using this service. You need to actually use a smartphone and download an app. But you can see they give a reasonable indication of the rates that you can expect for various crypto assets and various stable coins, and they explain what you can do. So for example, no minimum balance, rewards paid weekly. So rewards are paid around about midday UK time or UTC every Monday, and you can withdraw at any time with no fees. So that's another thing to consider, is that if you're looking to compound your returns, the interest is paid on a weekly basis as opposed to a daily basis or hourly basis, depending on what you're using in terms of getting a return. And that is every Monday at around about midday UK time. So it introduces you to how to use the platform and explains everything, including the insurance and including the security that is taken. I've already given you a walkthrough and explained about the two-factor authentication and the fact that if you withhold your withdrawal and want to change your details, you have to wait 24 hours in order to send it to a new address. So there is quite a focus on security that you would expect from a centralized investment crypto company. So the CEL token actually enables investors to access different services through the Celsius network in 4 different tiers: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, depending on the amount of Celsius token that you hold in your wallet. So say, for example, if you held 5 to 10%, you'd be on bronze, 10 to 15%, 15 to 20, and 20 and above is platinum, meaning you get the best interest rates and you get the best loan interest discount. Okay, so if you had $10,000 in your account, in order to get the best out of Celsius, you would need to have $2,000 worth of CEL token. Let's now look at the interest rates. Now, something quite interesting about the interest rates is that the US has its own interest rates. And this is because in the United States, they don't want the Celsius token to be treated like a security, which the United States government have decided it is, because effectively it's almost as if you're owning a part of Celsius network. If something good happens and the newspapers report a favorable story, the price will go up like it would a share, and similarly it goes down if there is something negative about it. And also you're getting a service improvement by owning the token. So therefore the US government decided that in order to avoid this type of share structure, you are not going to be able to own Celsius tokens in the United States, or at least stake them on the platform for a benefit. So that is why there are 2 levels of interest, and if you get paid in CEL rewards, you actually get your interest converted into CEL token and then paid into your accounts, and they can actually be quite beneficial. So if you're an international user, or if you're not based in the US, you can access very, very favorable rates as high as 21% per year paid weekly. Okay, but if you're in the US, unfortunately you have to earn your interest in the asset that you deposit, and that allows you to earn up to 16.16% in some tokens, or in terms of fiat currency, which has been converted to stable coins, you're earning a similar amount to everyone else, apart from the fact that it doesn't look like here. Yeah, there we go, 10.51%. Okay, whereas an international individual theoretically would be able to get a little bit higher than that, because they'd be converting their stablecoin into Celsius token. Okay, as I keep reiterating throughout this, I'm a little bit uncertain as to the value of doing that at the moment, unless you're a very long-term hodler, because I do believe that the price of Celsius has increased dramatically over the course of the last few months, and I don't think there's much steam left in it at the moment. As I said in the demo, I have sold the majority of my Celsius tokens between $1 and $1.50, just because I felt that it was hitting resistance and I wasn't comfortable holding it for the long run, and I've utilized that capital elsewhere. However, let's now look at the actual charts to determine what has happened. So say, for example, I took my profits somewhere around this region when we hit a wall in terms of growth, and I had a profit target set at that point. I would have set it at around $2.24, and that's bang on where we are now. Okay, we are around about the $2.24 region. We're above the 50-day EMA. In actual fact, we keep on bouncing off it, and it doesn't look really like we're coalescing too well for a drop. But at the moment, I don't think it's got enough steam to get through this level of resistance and climb higher. However, if it were to do that, my next profit target would be $3.60. So if we don't see a significant sell-off here, we bounce higher, and bear in mind the US is excluded from this token, so we could theoretically see some form of drop. We might see a bounce to $3.60. However, I think there will be a deeper correction before that happens. My particular target is $1.78, $1.59, and $1.31. I expect to break this 50-day EMA and close maybe as low as the 200-day EMA, which by this point in a couple of weeks' time will probably be around about the $1.30 region. At the moment, it's about $1.17. We will see how that develops over the course of the next couple of days. Notice on the 4-hour, we're a lot closer in terms of the EMAs, and theoretically, we are looking for a cross here to actually dictate a drop of sorts. So in terms of the 54-hour EMA and the 204-hour EMA, things are looking less bullish than they are on the day chart. On a 1-hour, not that it's particularly relevant for this type of trading, but we can see that it's very indecisive. Doesn't know which way to turn, whether it's up or down. And that's because the majority of people who are on the Celsius platform are probably earning their interest in Bitcoin at the moment. And obviously Bitcoin is very, very powerful with its move to $19,800. And the people who want to take profit on their Celsius because it has dramatically increased are being battled by the people who obviously want to continue earning a higher interest rate in Celsius tokens on their Bitcoin. Okay, so that's why we're seeing this indecision here. But again, this is an hour chart, so not particularly reliable. I generally use the day or the 4-hour chart to make these kind of investment decisions. But we are starting to see this tail off, which we can see in other metrics and other trading tools. So like this, for example, Bollinger Bands. We have ricocheted off the high and we're now underneath the average. Okay, and this is a day chart once again. We are fighting to break through this average at the moment. For the last 4 days, we have been fighting it. We've touched the bottom of the Bollinger Band a couple of times, and it's looking like it's turning over. We can definitely see that in the MACD on a day chart, with it declining, despite the price being fairly flat. So there's a level of divergence there. RSI, not really that important at the moment, 53, neither here nor there, and same with the ADX, not really giving us any good information. If I narrow the time frame down a little bit, perhaps we can see a little bit more information. Okay, so we're definitely fighting on a 1-hour to regain territory. We've got the maneuverability in the RSI there. Again, ADX not really much of a useful tool there, not really giving us anything to go on other than this slightly bullish indication with the green crossing the red. Let's look on a really long-term chart. Okay, week, Bollinger Bands all over the place, literally at the top of the echelon. Notice where this average is, nice, at the 131 region that I mentioned just now. So that's another support for us coming down to test the $130 region when this decides to tail off. Notice those candles getting even more uncertain as the time goes on. This doji that we've got here for this week so far looking very, very thin as the volatility disappears, as people either don't trade or don't buy and don't sell just because they're uncertain as to what to do. RSI off the scale, 84, nice and high. And we've still got bullishness left in this trend according to the ADX, 71, but that's just because we are factoring in all this movement here, and this is a lagging indicator, so that's still using out-of-date data. However, we have sold off a little bit in terms of the bullishness, and it's descended recently a couple of points. So generally an indication there on a larger time frame that we are overdue a sell-off, and I would expect it to come down to test this region at around the $130 region. Looking now on day charts, once again, not very much here apart from this sell volume here that we have, indicating that perhaps larger holders of Celsius token are selling. Now, I just wanted to have a quick look at the number of people who are holding Celsius, because they do have a nice breakdown for you on the Celsius website. You can actually see the number of people who are holding Celsius token at any one point. We can see that the founder of Celsius owns 51.5 million CEL, which is 119 million US dollars worth. We can actually see the company itself owns 334 million CEL, or $776 million worth, and then these various individuals are all relatively high up within the Celsius network management. Okay, and now you can actually see the top 200 users, some of which have names against them, and the number of CEL that they hold. So these are CEL whales, if you like. Theoretically, if some of these people started to collect their profits and maybe wanted to scalp or trade, then we could see a corresponding sell-off in the CEL price. And obviously you can scan all the way down to find the individuals who own up to the largest 200 accounts in CEL. And theoretically, if you were diligent enough, you could actually look to track some of these and see whether they are sending them to an exchange. There are not too many exchanges that trade CEL. You have to kind of look few and far between. If I go back to the Celsius network and actually look at markets, you can see that Uniswap, Liquid, hit BTC. There's no Binance, there's no KuCoin, there's no Huobi. Is literally just those. So there's not too much volume in terms of mainstream investments or mainstream users of crypto, because the mainstream exchanges haven't actually started using Celsius yet, or haven't accepted Celsius yet. So it is quite a nuisance sometimes to trade Celsius unless you're a member of one of these exchanges, or you're willing to use a DeFi protocol like Uniswap. So yes, the total number of top 200 Celsius users contain around about 241 million CEL, or around about 561. Notice that is basically the 60-70% of the actual market capitalization. If we look at the market cap once again over here, we have a market cap of around about 882 and a total 200 of 561. So that's around about 60%. So the top 200 users of CEL actually own around 60% of the market. Okay, so theoretically, if they decide to take their profits, or if they decide that something else looks more attractive elsewhere, we could see that corresponding drop that I'm looking for in the actual price to depreciate lower. Another reason to take profits potentially here would be actually the fact that we have had a trend line break. This is on an hour chart, okay, so it's fairly reliable, and this dates back to October. So effectively the large Bitcoin movement that we had recently, from around about $15,000 to almost $20,000, this is the period of that time. Notice we have had a trend line break here that has then been retested from underneath and therefore confirms it. So I would therefore expect this to hold now, and we shouldn't see an increase above $2.60 this side of seeing a significant sell-off. Okay, and that trend line break holds for Bitcoin as well. Notice how we're currently resting above the 50-day EMA on Celsius against Bitcoin. We've had a trend line break in that as well. So either if Bitcoin ascends rapidly, we'll get a drop, we'll break through this 50-day EMA, or if Celsius decides to have a corresponding drop against USD, then we'll also have a drop down here. And notice how he's come to around about 8,000 Satoshi here on that drop that I expect to drop down to $1.31. So if I were holding CEL token right now, and I did, I would sell the majority of my holdings here, maybe take around 60% or 70% of your profits off the table, but be prepared to buy significantly lower, maybe in the $1 region. We're currently around about the $2.30 region. I would be dollar to cost averaging anywhere underneath $2 for this at the moment, and looking to maximize my holdings of CEL to trade up to the next tier. I'm not bullish on CEL for the short term. However, I am very bullish on Celsius for the long term, noting the $3.60 target that I mentioned earlier in this video. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you'd like me to focus on any other particular cryptocurrency, please make a note or a suggestion in the comments. If you have anything you'd like me to look at in terms of a crypto project itself, please also make a recommendation in the comments. And I hope you enjoy using Celsius Network. As always, happy trading. The Crypto Professor likes feedback. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like it. If you'd like more of the same, please don't forget to subscribe. Or if you have questions, please post them in the comments and I'll endeavour to answer them for you. Thanks for watching.